Hello, everybody. This is Killen.J.Slones finally without the voice changer. I decided to do like live commentary stuff instead of just, you know, my usual game play stuff. I've just been thinking, what are some people, you know, how do some people think or how do they feel about themselves? Sometimes I think people do certain things just to, well, make themselves look better to others. They're not showing their true self. They force themselves to be this different person, and well, it changes them. It makes them think they have to be this different person just to be there for others. But in fact, the people that they're changing themselves for are usually terrible people. I understand some people don't see it as how I see it, and I get that many other people will have different ideologies and thoughts of how stuff works. But some people have the same ideology as me, don't realize it, and then just let people walk all over them because they don't want to change. I call them people pleasers. They just let people walk all over them. And, well, it causes them to go through a lot of stress and suffering. And then sometimes that stress and suffering can build up and cause them to do things they don't want to actually do. I had a friend. We, me and some other guys, my other friends of theirs, we had a conversation earlier yesterday. It's currently 6 in the morning at the time we're recording this. Reason I'm doing this so late and, well, deciding to do this stuff down is I used to be in their situation as well. They they just let people walk over them sometimes, which causes them to get into some trouble, and they just don't know how to let some people on their friends list and just people they knew for years to let them go, even though they know it harms them. And I understand. I truly do. I had a friend of 11 years that was a terrible influence on me. And well, it was until I think I was, what was it, in the beginning of high school to the end of middle school. That's the time I realized, hey, wait, my friend since elementary, all my life, I've known this person for 11 years for that time. I realized was a terrible influence on me. They showed me things, told me things, all that stuff. Things I can't legally say on YouTube, not because they're a crime. It's just the moderation, all that stuff. You just can't say certain things on YouTube anymore because I want to try to become a big channel at least, or not big. I just want to become something to help people. But back to the topic, I want to put my own input here. The reason why I didn't drop this person was the factor being they were the only person I relied on and knew. They introduced me to some people that I still chit chat once in a while to this day with, but rarely now. But even then, we're still good friends. Not the person that was technically my groomer for majority of my life, even though we were the same age. Factor being, I just didn't realize the signs, and nobody decided to tell me in life. If you ever feel like somebody might be hurting your social image, or, well, making you look bad when you're not a bad person at all, well, let me rephrase that. Everybody has bad traits, but it doesn't make you a bad person. Let me rephrase that again. I am so sorry, everybody. If you have a person that you see as a friend that harms your image, that intentionally or slightly unintentional, but they know what they're doing is wrong and they refuse to change, even if they are your friend, you don't keep that person in your life. It may be hard, even if you've known them for years. You can't let that take over your life. Hell, if it wasn't for somebody I met in middle school, I, even if we don't talk often anymore, my best friend, Smokey, or, well, Zyke Beefcake, gotta thank you a lot, man. You honestly helped me for a lot of hard times, even if we had our fallouts. There were so many times you should have just left me all entirely and you gave me a second chance. And I don't get that many people that anymore from experiences. But I'm glad you gave it to me. The more and more I think in the mornings, I can actually feel like myself. With the lack of antidepressants in my system suppressing me, and, well, thoughts. Just thoughts of life, past stuff, exes, all that stuff. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody ever change that. Don't let anybody say you're not a good guy because they disagreed with you. We've been through so much, and I am glad to have you as a friend, even if we don't talk often anymore. But back on topic of what I was telling you all. You should not let others decide your life. I had an ex. We had to break up due to long distance relations. Her family didn't want her dating anybody from that's not in her area, which I understand. Parents, even though she was the same age as me, they were going for a tough situation, all that stuff. I still text her once in a while. I just can't fully text her without thinking of us when we were dating. But she's still a good person. We ended on good terms. It's just she was in the similar predicament as me. She was a people pleaser. That's why I bring this up. I helped her understand what was wrong with being a people pleaser. She told me she fell back into it, I guess, but I mean, after I told her she can't let herself fall back into that cycle, she said she would change back, and I believe her because I care about her still to this day, even if we aren't dating. I just can't stand talking to her without thinking of us. Off topic again. Sorry. Look, what I'm saying is you can't let people walk over you. You need to stand up for yourselves. And if you have a friend willing to notice those flaws that people are walking over you and then willing to try to help you, take their hand and don't accept with loving grace if they're maybe a bad person. But take some steps in the right direction to, well, change. You know, you constantly need approval from others. You let others walk all over you. You don't care about yourself. You always put others in front of your own well being. You are your own self. And don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. Or, well, you'll fall into a depression like I was. I mean, I am still to this day never fully healed, but it's always good to have people to at least be friends with, talk to, and ask for help. I'm not saying you need to drop how many people, change how you are exactly. It's small things first. You gotta start out small and then slowly work up the bigger things. Like a domino effect. One small domino tipping causes a big chain reaction, and then you realize, hey, why are these people rude to me while these ones are nice? Is it due to how I am? Are they just rude? Was there some misunderstanding? Try to understand your situations and, well, you'll see in a new light about everything. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that part of the topic. Another thing is asking and going out to seek help. Now, some people say like therapy doesn't work for them. I get that. I never got the proper chance to experience it due to family issues, but it helps. Even if you don't realize it or don't want to accept it, it does help people. You can't just stereotype your well being and then just think you can tell other people therapy won't work. Because that could honestly harm a person's life without you realizing it and can lead them down a path they can never come back from. I just wish luck for everybody and hope, well, they can live a long, fulfilling life, even if they may have been a terrible person, like some people I know. They they deserve a life almost, depending on what they have done. I say almost. As for there are some people irredeemably bad in this world, but most people deserve a second chance. And if you're some of my friends listening to this, hey, yeah, I know it's ironic me saying this that some people deserve second chances. And you know why? You know, I don't usually give people second chances. I always see them as like clear cut cases from what I've seen. But if it wasn't for some people in my past giving me second chances, I wouldn't be here to this day. Even if I have a small viewer base, I still have a good amount of friends that care about me, and I care about them. And you guys know who you are. I love you guys, and I hope you guys don't change. God, I'm tearing up a bit. I love being me. I love being able to actually think properly and God, all nighter tears. Am I right? But back on topic. I know I'm going left and right about all this stuff, but it's also another thing I want to talk about since I started there, accidentally crying. It's always good to let out your emotions. You can't just suppress them for years or months, weeks, days, even, because that those emotions it can harm you, genuinely hurt you, hurt your friends, family, the people you care about, because you're closing your hope away from everybody and yourself to what not cry, not feel human. Crying is not a sign of weakness. It's something that shows you care and shows that you know how to respond to certain situations and or well it's hard for me to explain. It's different for everybody. But always remember you don't let others suppress your emotions. If they do and they are your quote unquote friend, they're not a friend. They tell you to stop crying in that situation where it is, appropriate to cry. I mean, like, you just lost a friend, or, well, I hate to bring my own past up, or how a partner, an ex, can play with your heartstrings and then tell you they cheated on you with your first ex, and then tell you 3 days after your father passed away. I I held it back. Then he hurt me again. That's when it all came out, and boom. If it wasn't for those type of interactions with people like him or her, I wouldn't be the same as I am today. I may be mentally hurt. I'm not broken though, because I can still heal because I decide and choose to try. It's what my father would have wanted, because he always thought about me. You know what? If you still have your family members like your father and mother, give them a hug. Show them you care. I didn't give my dad that, and I regret it every day. It's an eternal pain in my soul that I know he tried to come and text me, try to talk to me, get to know me, and I just had a spite to him because he was absent for a good majority of my life. But he did nothing wrong to me. He was stuck in, well, jail for things that he didn't fully understand. And now he's gone forever. Never let your parents that you care about feel alone, even if they are in a tough situation. Don't let them feel alone, because one wrong day, they're gone. You'll never see them again. Forever gone. And all the people listening to this, always remember if you have siblings, care for them. I never got to be really with my sisters as the only boy. I had a rough past. I live with my grandparents now. I love them. I don't say it straight to their faces because it gets complicated. It's how I was kind of raised in how my family is. I tell them once in a while that I care and I do love them. It's just hard for me to express it. And I always want them to know I do love them, even if they do, well, have their moments. That's what makes them human. Because, well, you can't have a perfect relationship. If there was a thing called a perfect relationship, how would everything work? They're gonna have arguments, they're gonna have fights, but it's not gonna last. Why? It's because they care about each other. That's how you should be also with your partners. They may be in a tough situation, you won't realize it until it's too late. And hey, to to all the people out there, LGB, straight, all that stuff, listen, if you can't express yourself or if you can't understand certain signs about like your partner being uncomfortable, ask them to tell you at least so they know if you are making them uncomfortable. They should tell you beforehand so you can identify what's the problem and then you won't have certain not fumbles, certain accidents happen. I had an ex like that didn't tell me. They're a little different, not the most stable, but she was a good person, I think. Some people may say otherwise, but I can see the care in people. And yeah, me and her had our downfalls, everything. I tried to at least keep contact. She just unadded me a few days ago again, but she's a good person. I can see it. She cares about her sister and everything. And I understand. Sorry, I got distracted by a bird outside. But I understand her view now from when me and her did start dating. She felt pressured, I guess, which I didn't mean to make her feel pressured. I wanted her to take her time and feel like she was ready to possibly get into a relationship. I just regret rushing into it. This is when I think I turned 17 freshly. This was last year. God, 18 years of living on this planet, and I'm still this awkward even on a microphone. But hey, we're all awkward, all right? That's how we're all coded. And yeah, anyways, back to like giving you guys advice on what to do if you're seeking help. I don't really know how to edit my videos, so I will say if you, hold on, let me go get it. Trying to find something. If you guys are in like a situation in your life where you feel like you want to end it, please don't. Listen, you matter. You have some type of purpose. It's not, maybe not that big. Don't think it's something huge. That's where a lot of people don't understand. They feel like there's so much pressure on themselves to do something big. That's not good for you. Yeah, being having big expectations is something that we all have. Like I had the thought of may sound stupid. I remember it's from elementary. I wanted to be a veterinarian, which yeah, it's small in retrospect, but I realized, hey, I don't think I'd be cut out for being a veterinarian. And I thought, why not an astronaut? No, that wouldn't work. Uh, you see how much training I have to do? I could never. So I thought, hey, why not give people advice? And then, well, here I am, giving people online advice. And so many people online, Discord, VR chat, Roblox. Yeah, it's funny. I always thought, hey, I'm probably gonna die young or take myself out. And I didn't. I made sure I pushed through, and now I'm helping others while trying to slowly heal and help myself. Uh, And shorter terms, you matter. Remember that. There's going to be people that care about you. And the other factor being, you need to take care of yourself before others first. If you don't, you're going to hurt yourself more. And trust me, it doesn't feel good when you hurt yourself. Now, I will say, if you do need to call a hotline, call 988. It's a suicide and crisis lifeline. Or if here's the national helpline call. Uh, call 1-800-662 help or 4357, and then text your 5-digit zip code to them. To wait, no, I'm misunderstanding this. Sorry. Just call 1-800-662 help, and look, they're willing to help. I mean, it's in the name, but always remember, you matter. Never let anybody tell you otherwise. Well, this is Killen.J.Slones out. I love all you guys, and have a good day.